Robbie here. Listen, lots of people have been asking me, Robbie, how have you managed to lose so much weight? And I feel so much better for it. And it has been a journey. But these two little things here, Optimum Day and Optimum Night, have really, really helped me on my weight loss journey. This Optimum Day, what it does, it helps you to curb your cravings. It really helps with your metabolism and just really stabilizes things. And I swear by this. I absolutely swear by this. And then the Optimum Night, what this one does, I take these before I go to bed at night, helps you to have a much better, deeper sleep, makes you relax, makes you sleep, and makes your body recover. And these pills, I mean, listen, they're not magic pills, but they're all natural, and they have really, really helped me in my weight loss journey, and I really, really swear by them. So if you want to get your hands on these, scan the QR code in the description right now, or click the link down below, and you can get 70% off your first order with the Optimum Day and Optimum Night by Oxford Natural.
Wow, and welcome to the Invincible podcast. This one, of course, over the new year, and big up, to Oxford Natural there. And maybe Robbie needs a bit of that after Christmas and the new year. What do you reckon?
I think we all
He must have put on a couple of pounds. I have put on a few pounds. I'm not lying, because of my back situation. I've not been out to go down the gym or anything or exercise, so I put on a few pounds. So I might be tapping up Robbie for a bit of that, I think.
I've got a few pounds full stop, so yeah, I probably could do with getting involved.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
Same here, mate.
Me and Chris have come dressed. Well, I know, we said the dress code today.
Mate, I didn't get the memo, mate.
You didn't get the memo.
Email.
We both got sciatica.
I know.
But we thought we'd come in peace, and you'd come in a different one.
We both turned up injured. You're definitely Arsenal fans.
We're here, aren't we?
Picking up injuries. This podcast is picking up injuries like the Arsenal first team.
We know, we're going to have a press conference about our injuries later on. Me and Chris are definitely out for the weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, how long are you out for?
Well,
matter of days.
Matter of days.
Matter of weeks.
Days at the moment.
It'll be a while.
I'll go and see the specialist today. See what he says. So, but listen, Happy New Year, everybody. And obviously, Happy New Year to everybody watching and everything like that. And let's be honest, not been a bad start to the year for us Arsenal fans. Beating Aston Villa, extending our lead to 4 points. Come yesterday in what would have to be the worst game of football I've ever seen. I actually watched the darts in the end,
Did you?
Very, very good. But in the end, I did. I was watching the dart and I thought I can't watch that City Sunderland game. And I thought I'll watch the darts, but I was flicking in the end. And in the end, the football took over.
You had to watch it.
Yeah, you had to watch it in the end, and the football took over. But before we go on to what happened in that game, just before Christmas, Tuesday night, Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Big up to you. Smarty Marty, become Smarty Marty, because he actually said we could beat these by 4 or 5. And I said 3-1, but when I see Declan Rice weren't playing, I put it down to 3-1. But I always felt that in the last couple of games we've created chances, looked better. Talk to me about the Villa game. First half, not great, but wow, second half.
Yeah, first and foremost, Happy New Year to everyone, and thanks for watching. And I've had a fantastic year here. It's been great, and I'm really looking forward to what 2026 will hold. And so listen, Tuesday night, that was, I just felt that Arsenal had been sort of scraping by, and I said it in a fan cam. I said, even when we're not good, we're still good. And we're getting the results. Sometimes the football wasn't fantastic. It was, we were just getting the job done. We were getting the points on the board, and that is what you need. And it'd been a while before someone had come to the Emirates and got a good spanking. And I just felt, and I looked at the records. Obviously, Emery did the 11 games with Arsenal, and then what happened? And I just thought it was their time. I thought they'd been getting a bit. Listen, they've done fantastically, no disrespect to them, but they'd got a bit big for their boots. They kind of thought they was going on this title charge, and I just think they thought they was going to come here and turn us over, and it don't work like that. Not with this team.
Chris, I don't think that Villa were that arrogant about that. I think they was on a good
I don't know.
run.
They had some fan on Scott.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. Go on, then. There's
not one Arsenal player we're getting the Villa team.
Right,
do me a
favour.
Yeah.
Was he drunk or what?
No, he was deadly seriously.
He was deadly serious when he said this.
And I mean, do me a favour.
How many players do you think would get in?
One.
Who?
Morgan Rogers.
No, above who?
You're getting our squad. But
You're
not
getting a
team.
squad. You're getting a squad. But do you reckon he gets in the team?
What, Morgan Rogers?
Yeah.
100%.
Against who? Who do you change him out for? Because his natural replacement would be Martin Odegaard, and on Tuesday night's performance and the performance against Brighton, they're completely...
He'd be a squad option.
I think you find a place for him. He could play box to box.
Yeah.
What, instead of Declan Rice?
Well, Declan Rice wasn't there on Tuesday.
No, he's just having a rest.
No,
mate.
you know what I mean?
Just having a rest. We was just resting him.
Or you can play him on the left-hand side.
What, instead of
it'd be-
Trossard?
Well, yeah.
I think Trossard's been probably our best attacking player this season. And obviously the thing with Trossard is, I remember when he got the pay rise at the beginning of the season, everyone was like, we need to sell him, we need to get rid of him. And, how can we give him a pay rise? And look, unlike when you look at Mo Salah, what Liverpool did with Mo Salah, and then he was just being absolutely toilet for him. But whereas Leandro Trossard has been like, okay, he's just gone about his business quietly, and he's been like, right, I'll show you lot exactly how I mean business.
Think Trossard's one of those players for me that's underrated.
Completely.
When I look at Arsenal teams that have won the league, chaps, we've always had an attacking wide player like that. Limpar.
Yeah, could score goals, exactly that.
Overmars,
Yeah.
Reyes.
Limpar.
And he falls into that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that vastly underrated, but listen, I'm one of these players that would. One of these people that would turn around and say he's probably like a squad player, but this season he's proving to be more than that. I think that again at the week on Tuesday against Villa, I thought he was brilliant. The goal that he took was fantastic.
And the thing with Trossard, and this is for me what epitomises him, is that game against Villa at Villa Park. We bring him on at half time to do a job. He goes and does the job within 7 minutes, and then he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't literally continue. Otherwise risking serious injury. I've done my work. Take me off." And this is what this guy does.
Yeah.
And on Tuesday night, again, fantastic. He pops up with goals and scores goals, but it's like everyone, this talk of Semenyo, and listen, I rate him. Great, good player. Will he fit at Arsenal? The thing with Trossard is you know what you're getting.
Yeah, and that's a great point. He does fit into what Arsenal do, doesn't he? Whether it's from the bench or when he starts.
Another thing about that 4-1, wasn't it wonderful to see Jesus come on and score? That, to me, is one of the Emirates moments.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, and I'll put that up. Arshavin's goal against Barcelona or Welbeck again. That, and also, you going on about Odegaard. It's sort of when you see Odegaard play like that, how sad is his injury? He got injured playing in a nothing game for Norway.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Like Gabriel for Brazil.
And you watch him. That is the old Odegaard. That little dink to Zubamendi. Wow.
Listen, with Odegaard, there's been a lot of people criticising him. I've not criticised him because I know what a wonderful footballer he is. You know what I mean? I watch him and I think, wow, there's things in a game of football that he makes look easy, and it's not. He's under pressure when he picks the ball up and things like that. And listen, this season alone, 2 times he's done his shoulder, then he's come back and then he's done his knee. Mm-hmm. It's going to take him a little while to get back into the swing of it. So now he's set his standards. I thought against Brighton he was really, really good.
Yeah.
But people like the critics
Yeah.
in our fan base, I'm going to say that the critics in our fan base, well, it's only Brighton. Can he do it against a good team, right? Aston Villa, the team of at the moment, they're the best team in the Premier League at that moment in time.
They were.
But, produced that wonderful performance. And that pass, wow.
And what I loved about that, right, is see Villa in the first half. They tried to cut through our midfield, and Saliba, Gabriel cleared it up like they do, consummate professionals. So in the second half, Odegaard and Zubamendi were like, no, listen guys, this is how you do it. And that incisive pass from Odegaard through to Zubamendi and that little dink over round Emiliano Martinez, pops it into the bottom corner. That is carving through a team, and it was just like them. And you see what it meant to Zubimendi. It was just a fantastic piece of football, and that is the definition of carving a team open.
Midfield, wasn't it?
Huh?
Yeah, yes.
The Real Sociedad midfield we
Yeah,
played the other day.
yeah. And really, I've got to say it now because we do criticise referees when it's not against us. That Marino very, very lucky to be.
Yeah, he used to be on the pitch.
But he was an awful ref, wasn't he?
Awful ref.
Can I just say something? It's funny you say that Real Sociedad midfield, right? Because that's been said before, and I actually said I said that a while ago. Obviously, buying the players from Sociedad, and the first thing a lot of people said, you said about people being critical, which I understand because they haven't really won anything yet. But people are like, well, that midfield didn't win anything, or that midfield wasn't good enough. But you see how that midfield operated on Tuesday night. Martin Zubimendi, when you look at that calibre of play in that second half, I thought he was absolutely out of this world. Like that was the when you want to know how to play in that position. He wasn't just playing in the 6 either. No, he was playing in the 8 and the 10.
He's a piston.
He was around that midfield and moving the ball around, controlling the tempo, making passes, and then pops up with a goal as well. That when you take into consideration, we paid 50 million quid for him, and in today's market for a midfielder, when Caicedo was 110, and essentially they play a similar position. But for me, Zubimendi is more professional. He won't pick up stupid bookings. Like that sending off against us. He won't put in rash challenges. He's strong in the challenge. Yeah. He's fantastic in the air as well, which for a short guy is just... I think he wins 76% of his aerial duels, which is a phenomenal record for a guy of that size. And the way he gets around, he's the oil to the midfield engine. He's just a phenomenal player.
Chris, he has just settled into... He's probably been our best signing, hasn't he, so far this
He's
season.
the only signing we've made who's actually a first-team regular.
Yeah.
Straight in as well, straight in.
And in the defence of the other guys that have come in, like, that position was open, wasn't it? Where the other positions weren't, like, open, like, where Eze's got to come in and displace Odegaard, which is not good, as we said, it's not going to be easy. And Mosquera, I think, has been a very good signing for us coming in and doing the job that he's done. Like, and I've got to say it now, Nketiah, I thought had a very good game on Tuesday. Like, I mean, he's not my favourite, but he's starting to become my favourite.
Who is?
Nketiah. I thought he played very well. Yeah.
Apart from when the ball... and do you know what? In games like this, right, you can afford to sort of laugh at it. The ball gets played down left-hand side and he completely stacks it, ends up on his arse. Yeah. And, but if you're 1-0 down or 2-1 down or whatever, you're behind in a game and that happens, you're kind of going, what are you playing at? But, it's so nice to be able to look back on that situation, laugh at it and be like, look, put some different studs on, mate.
On the subject of Eze, some Palace fan who I know says he always has a poor first start of the season. But in the second half of the season, when it comes to crunch, that's when he steps up to the plate, apparently. So
that'd be good.
I think he'll play Bournemouth Saturday.
Yeah, I was just going to... We'll talk about that, in a while going forward, like, because I think that there is a couple of decisions to make for the manager, like rotation, because obviously don't forget next week we've got a big game,
Liverpool Thursday night.
So there is. We're just running off on the Aston Villa game. I want your real honest thoughts.
Come on.
Yeah, like, right. What were they at half time?
What my honest thoughts at half time were?
I genuinely thought we'd win 1-0. I still said we'd get the goal, but like there was a lot of people moaning, going, "This is not good football. This is not great." If anybody had said to you, we're going to win this game 4-1 at half time, I don't think you'd have believed that. But what was your actual...
The thing is, we've done that in a few games this season.
Yes, we have.
I was just about to say that.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
Tottenham.
Madrid.
We seem in the first half, I think, we're sussing everything out. And in the second half, Arteta gives them, right, boom, 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 go for it.
Yeah. And so, listen, at the end of the day, it was a great thing. Let's just talk quickly about Jesus, because
wonderful.
it is wonderful to see it, like, I mean, I think he's a fantastic footballer. I've always said he's a fantastic footballer, but he's really impressed me the way his fitness levels and everything are in this game.
I think Who's Brazil's number 9 at the moment?
Well,
There you go.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
I think I still don't change my opinion on Jesus. For me, he's a fantastically dynamic player that you can bring on after 70 minutes, which will completely change a game because
That's what he's got to do to the end of the season.
Because he offers a completely different forward playing style than Gyökeres. Gyökeres needs the chance. I think dropping him now for Jesus would be not good for the player, and it's not going to or Havertz. It's not going to help him. I think with Victor Gyökeres, and we've got the options to change games if it's not working. Now Jesus still, let's not forget, he's come back from a double ACL. Like, that's a serious injury. Like, he is going to be, and Tuesday night showed us exactly, backs up what I'm saying. I remember, funny enough, after last week, I got a bit of criticism for people saying that I rate Jesus as a footballer. Now, Jesus is a fantastic footballer, and now on Tuesday night, everyone's seeing what I was talking about last week. After 53 seconds, he sticks the ball in the back of the net with a fantastic bit of skill. That's not an easy bit of skill. No. You've got to play a tight on the edge of the box, and you've got to stick it past Emiliano Martinez, who is a top goalkeeper. And by the way, one thing I want to mention on Emiliano Martinez, did you see him warming up in the tunnel? Obviously, did you see that?
I'll say that, yeah.
He's warming up and all that sort of housing. Emiliano Martinez, I think, scored about 4 goals for us in these games. And on Instagram, funny enough, he put a picture up of him of the goal, and I was like, why would you put a picture on Instagram of you flapping for a... Because he flapped it. And he reckons he got fouled. Now, he's a big guy.
Never a foul.
He flapped it. That's the bottom line. And you see how Saliba and Gabriel, he just got worked. He got worked by them. Saliba and Gabriel, how they're both tight in together and by the goalkeeper.
He actually fouls Gabriel.
Yeah, exactly. They're putting pressure on him.
He gives it, doesn't he? Let's face it.
Well,
exactly. You've got to take it.
Let's grow up a bit.
Yeah. Let's talk about him for a second.
Yeah, let's do it.
He gets a lot of sticker. I don't give him no stick and all that. I actually think, like, you know... No, like, I think he got a raw deal at Arsenal, if I'll be honest. Yes. Yeah,
he was at Arsenal a long time.
He was at Arsenal a long time. He worked his way and got into the team. And I don't think it was... I think it was business more than a footballing reason they left, because I think that they could get more money for him than Leno.
Yeah, at the time.
And I think that's why they done it, right? But he comes there, he gives it. He's a decent goalkeeper.
He's a decent goalkeeper, yeah. Listen, he's won the World Cup, but tell me that he's better than David Raya.
No, but listen, that's not the conversation with David Raya, because David Raya was 3 years ago. You're telling me he's a better goalkeeper than Leno? Yes, he's a better goalkeeper than Leno. Yeah. That was the decision at the time.
And he's probably a better goalkeeper than Ramsdale.
And I'll argue this now, if it wasn't for him, we don't win that FA Cup that year. Like, I mean, he was outstanding. I think people forget about how good he was.
He was?
I remember... I'm pretty sure it was Brighton that Leno went down injured.
That's right.
Right, and everybody was losing it, going, "Oh my God, we ain't got a goalkeeper now." No, this guy stepped in, and you know, was unbelievable for 6, 7, 8 months. And when Leno come back, they made that decision. I understand that he would feel bitter. Now, listen, when people go like that, imagine if that was you. You're Arsenal, you've been at Arsenal all those years, and you get dumped.
Yeah.
You are going to be a little bit bitter. So good luck to him. Good luck to him. He gives it all.
I get it, but he's gone on to Villa. He's the number 1 there, and his place is secure. He's won the World Cup. So it's not like, why should he be bitter about Arsenal? He's a World Cup winner.
Because he loves Arsenal. It's like you.
No, but if he does he love Arsenal? Because when he comes in, all he wants to do is waste time and give it a load of...
It's different now. It's different now.
Smack talk and the housery.
Being told to do that by Emery.
And also, did you see the ball boy as well?
Yeah,
that ball boy deserves a medal, right?
Brilliant.
So Martinez comes across, he goes to show him the ball, and then Martinez gets there and he just drops it on the floor. Martinez also moves the cone closer to the goal, and the ball boy gets the cone and pulls it back to where it should be and further. Mate, I love seeing that.
It was, but listen, but he's the pantomime villain in this and all that, like, and what he's doing in the tunnel and all that, like. Yeah. I actually think, like, you know, fair play to you, like, you know.
Then did you see after in the tunnel on the way out, he lost his mind.
Do you think they'll bring back the?
No, get rid of it.
Because, like,
keep it gone.
Because if
people have got to grow up.
Yeah, I think that was a great thing. Like, it showed a little bit of whatever.
Brilliant.
Don't bring that tunnel thing back, because at the end of the day, like, you know, mate, that's what you want.
You need that. You know,
that was a bit intimidating. It was what Arteta said that he wanted it for.
Yeah, and at the end of it, I'm not being funny. Like, listen, as a professional footballer, you're going to get some stick. In most positions in life, whatever you do, you get a bit of grief. Do you tell me you haven't had a bit of grief with what you do on here? Do you know what I mean? You're not a professional football player.
I've had it when I played at a place called Horsham.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah,
they had a cage, and they're very hostile over there.
Yeah,
you know, the fans there. And I've done a bad tackle. It was a bad tackle. It was probably a sending off, and I got booked for it just before half time. And they was all on top of it, like, and because you're caging, you're giving it as well. Like. You know what I mean? Like that cage was there, like, you know what I mean? But like, that's what part of football's about.
And in that tunnel on the way, you want to see, like, not being funny, it was a great bit of social media, like watching Emiliano Martinez absolutely lost his mind and fans giving it to him. Now, also, don't forget, we're going to play him again next season. Chances are we'll probably be their goalkeeper.
We could play him in the FA Cup.
There you go.
If they knock Tottenham out.
No, not Tottenham out. Listen, I wouldn't want him to have a blinding game next Saturday. But I will say this. I will say this with him, right? He had to take it. He give it at Villa. When we lost him at Villa Park, he give it to us. You know what I mean? Like, and fair play to him. I ain't got a problem with it. I really ain't.
I think people, what's the word, woke. Just get on with it.
Yeah.
Just part of, you know, this place, the Emirates, is our home, and other players need to feel intimidated coming here. You know, there's lines to it and levels to it. I'm not talking about, you know, threats and stuff like that, but level of intimidation. It should be a cauldron. It should be a raucous atmosphere. It should be, you know, a baying crowd.
We've had some massive atmospheres this year and last year, haven't we? I mean, that's one good thing about the Emirates has turned into a bit of a...
It certainly has. And you know when like Jesus got that go, everybody went mad. It was like that. I think when he scored against Man United, that went mad there. Like there's been some really good atmospheres down there at the moment. And there is an expectation, everyone. I want to just quickly go on to that. Like, you know, there was a different atmosphere on Tuesday to there was against Brighton. I think when we played Brighton, we're expected to win, so the fans expect that.
Also, that was a 3 o'clock kickoff, wasn't it? And you know what? I just didn't feel right. I'm not used to 3 o'clock no more. You know what I ain't?
No, not used to it no more.
As soon as I took my seat the other night against Villa, I was right up for it.
Yeah.
Like, you had a Brighton game,
I think that is, but fair play to the players. Right, going in then to the new year, like, you know, and I'm going to say this now, right? Arsenal win against Villa, right? So obviously that means the team in third place, which was Aston Villa, which still is Aston Villa, dropped points, right? Chelsea, who were in fourth, drop points. Right? Liverpool, that are in fifth, drop points. Right. So now we go on to Sunderland, Man City.
So just quickly on that, you bring in Chelsea and Liverpool. We're like 15 points ahead of them. I don't believe at this stage they are even in.
And one of them's in meltdown, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not in our conversation.
It's still good to make that gap and
bigger.
But you know, so out of the top 5. There was only one team that got maximum points.
Yeah.
Over the New Year, and that was Arsenal, because obviously like Sunderland versus Man City. Now I will say this with this game, Sunderland had 7 players missing. Now,
That's the centre half.
Dan Bollard was missing, like, you know what I mean? 6 have gone to the African nations, and Dan Bollard, of course, is ex-Arsenal, caused us all sorts of problems. Has been fantastically brilliant but. Mind you, the 2 centre halves yesterday were absolutely outstanding for them. Like, you know, when we went up there, all those 7 players were available, and it was a tough game. We got a point, and at the end of it, like a fair point. We had no forwards that day, if you remember rightly. Marino was up front on his own. They had the full set there at Man City yesterday. It could have gone either way, but before I want to talk about that, I want to just talk about one player. Granit Xhaka, I thought was outstanding yesterday, and the plaudits he got. Like I looked at it and I thought, well, he done that for Arsenal on many occasions,
I know,
and never got the same plaudits as what he's getting now for Sunderland. Like, you know, why is that?
I think it's another example of Arsenal fans always say this, but media bias.
And do you know what?
We do get treated differently, Lee.
Yeah, well, it does when it comes to that, because I thought he was fantastic yesterday. My man of the match.
Do you know what as well? And I'll say this. For me, Granit Xhaka was scapegoated for Arsenal at a time where Arsenal were very poor, and he was the captain and he was the guy that it got stuck on. When I look at that period of time, I remember when he got booed off the pitch. I thought it was very unjust and unfair, and I'll tell you why. Because at that time, we needed steel in our team. We were very, very soft. We had teams come to our backyard and bully us, and he was the only guy. That's why he was picking up bookings and red cards, because he was the only guy sticking in tackles and driving forward and showing aggression. Everyone else was lightweight, getting bullied off the ball, and if there was a confrontation, he'd be the first guy in there and everyone else would back away from it. And listen, it is a contact sport and you need those levels of determination to get you through.
The only thing is, I do think since the Granit Xhaka you were talking about then and the Granit Xhaka we're talking about now, two different players. Since he's gone, I think when he went to Germany, he still hit top levels. They'd done the treble that year.
Yeah.
But I've noticed he's a little bit more. He's still got his bite, but he's not reckless and he's not stupid.
No. And I'll tell you one thing I've always noticed this about Granit is that if there was a confrontation, players back down.
Yes,
he loves it.
You know what I mean? Because he is a
Tottenham away. Remember?
Do you remember that? Yeah. And even yesterday there was a little altercation at the end. I don't know if you see it.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in there.
He's straight down.
And no one, but he's been fantastic.
Lee, don't forget, Lee, for that last season that he had with us before he went to Bayer Leverkusen, he was absolutely phenomenal.
He was brilliant for us.
Scoring goals, everything, a lot.
The last 2 years for Arsenal, that was what he's doing now.
Would he get in the team there?
I mean, listen, you would have played him the other night. Listen, with Declan Rice injured, you would have played him. I'm sorry.
I think he's better than Mourinho now. But then Mourinho couldn't do. Granit Xhaka couldn't do what Mourinho done up top.
They're
different players. But listen, I love Granit. You know what I mean? I was good fortunate enough to sit next to his family and for a couple of years and.
You do rub some shoulders, didn't you, Mr. Justice?
You know what I mean? And
he's got the lot.
It was funny because the jury was out on Granit, and then I met him and I said, "Nah, he's it." So, yeah.
and as well, look, for me, I'll sort of finish it up on the Granit Xhaka saga. This is a player that there's nothing better than sort of hero to zero and then going to hero. Like this guy was literally, he had his bags packed. He was leaving Arsenal.
I've never seen it happen before in my life.
Right, and then booed off a pitch. He was leaving Arsenal. He was out there. His bags were packed. Right, this has been
to turn it around about. Like he did, unbelievable.
Turns it around to then being a fan's favourite and being missed when he goes and gets sold to Leverkusen, and then to go on with Leverkusen to being invincible. Right, which, with no disrespect, with Leverkusen to be an invincible, it's the Leverkusen side. It's not like doing it with Bayern Munich, which is easier, or doing it with a prime, say, Liverpool or Arsenal side. And then obviously he's come back and that Sunderland job's come up. Now, a lot of players would be scared of that because you're thinking, right, they've come up from the Championship. I go there, we're probably going to go straight back down, trapdoor it, like I think 90% of teams that get promoted do. Last season, all three teams that came up went down, right? So this season, Sunderland legitimately look like they could get some sort of European football. Yeah. Once they get their players back from AFCON as well. I mean, listen, even that, they've got all 6 players out in AFCON and Dan Ballard, and they got a 0-0 draw with City, who everyone was saying that they're rampant, they're going to come back, we know the Sharks are circling and all that sort of stuff. Listen, Sunderland could have won that yesterday.
They could have won it. They could have lost it. They could have actually won and lost against Forest.
But the thing is, wasn't it nice to see someone play City and not be scared of them?
Yeah, they went for it.
They went. I mean, look at the centre half on Harden was fantastic. Yeah. And he let him know he was there, didn't he? It was great.
I thought all round the park that they'd done that, and credit to them. Listen, it's not an easy place to go, and I think at the end of the day, City will look at it and go, oh, well, we'll take the point. I think it was a good point. They dropped 2 points, so it's good for us, and we've got to back it up now on Saturday.
That Brian Brobby as well. He's a handful.
Yeah, I think they've got some all round handful. Like the 2 centre halves were fantastic. I thought their fullbacks were brave and went bombing forward. Their wide players were. I'll tell you what I did like about them, the way that, hopefully other teams will do that against City because they hassled them from the back.
Yeah, great.
And I've never seen City give away the ball so many times in their own half, because of the way that they've done that, So, look, fair play to Sunderland, but at the end of the day, it's all about Arsenal, what we do now. There's only one team in the league.
Arsenal.
Right? The title is in their hands and their hands only us. right? We've got to maintain that and keep that, you know. And the only way that we can do that is to beat Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Which, dare I say it, on paper we should, but you know, it's not.
We've got a funny record there, haven't we?
Yeah, it's a funny play. We either win easy there, or we struggle.
Yeah.
And
last year, we gave that stupid free kick
Yeah.
away, and
Saliba got sent off
for nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we lose 1-0.
Yeah. Well, and the week before, I remember.
By the way, just see that Saliba got sent off for that, right?
Yeah, I know.
Right. And Romero got away with it yesterday. Like, you know,
but then,
where's the logic?
Do you remember when that happened, Saliba, and it was Chelsea? I can't remember who.
Next game, yeah.
It was either the next game or the game before. Exactly the same. Well, actually worse, and gets a booking for it. Yeah, it's inconsistency
again. But look, we won't go into that. No. We won't go into that. But I remember being 3-0 down at Bournemouth one time. And that was in Arsenal Villa.
Yeah, when Giroud equalised and he's run off celebrating into the fans. It's like, mate, pick the ball up and go again.
We were 3-0 down and dead and buried.
Yeah,
you know,
we've had some nice days. There's Saliba. Remember we got
Saliba going to pink kit, which hardly ever got played in.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've had some good performances there. But we've got to go there, be solid. And
I think a bit of rotation could be on the
right, that's what we're going to talk about, a bit of rotation. So, you brought it up, Chris. Where's your rotation going to be then?
Well, I wouldn't rush Rice back.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to play. I think we got to give Eze a bit of a run out, you know.
So what, instead of Odegaard for this one?
Yeah, possibly.
And so that he's fresh for Liverpool?
Yeah, and I might leave Saka out. I think he needs a rest.
Okay.
And I play Noni. And that's about it, really.
Good shout.
Good shout.
I would play Odegaard in the 8.
What about Ben White instead of Timber?
Yeah, sorry about that. I forgot that.
Again, I'd play Timber for 60 minutes and then bring Ben White on. What you don't want to do with Ben White is
very tired when he come off again, though, Timber.
I know. He is, but or you play him for the first. I don't. Look. You have got to manage that because, like I said about Gabriel,
both players,
Gabriel Jesus. Bringing him on after 20, with 20 minutes left is absolutely perfect. And if that is what you're going to get for that guy for the rest of the season, brilliant. I'll take that all day long.
Havertz.
Ben White, Havertz can play his part. Ben White, listen, he has to manage that right hand side with Timber and Ben White 100% because you don't want either of those players breaking down and being out for the rest of the season.
And do you know what Arteta? He said it again today. About this, he hasn't been able to do it all season. He keeps on hinting about this Havertz with Gyökeres.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what you think about that.
Well, we'll talk about that in a second. I think.
I don't know how you're going to.
Do you play Gabriel for this game? That's another question I've got to ask in this game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you?
We mustn't underestimate him. I think.
That's a great point. But I think that, you know.
What back four do you go with? Because if you take Gabriel out of it as well,
you're putting Kepier in there and Miles Lewis-Skelly to the left.
Saliba.
I just think with Gabriel, he's just coming back.
Yeah. Because he went off the other night, didn't he?
Yeah, so somewhere along the line, got trust in the squad. I don't know. It's very hard to leave him out. I'm gonna, if we're winning comfortably, I'd do the same thing as we done against Villa and then take him off. But I think you got. That is an unbelievable.
Is the menu going to play with Bournemouth?
I don't know. This is another one.
And who's their number 9? It's that Evan Nilsson, isn't it?
Yeah, they're decent. They're a decent side.
They've got good midfield players.
They've got good midfield players. I don't think you can take liberties. But I think if you're going to, I would bring Eze in.
Yeah, he's got to start playing, Lee.
So 20 minutes to go. Gyökeres is coming off. Who are you putting on? Jesus or Havertz?
I want Havertz to get up and running. I'll say Jesus for Liverpool. But then you got Portsmouth coming up. You do every rotation there. But they are strong at Fratton Park. I know they got whacked by Bristol City yesterday, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So do you think like Arteta would be thinking a rotation for Liverpool and Portsmouth, or do you think he's just focusing on one game at a time? Do you think they've got to look?
I think he wants to play his A-listers against the Liverpool, rotate slightly against Bournemouth, and big rotation against Portsmouth.
Yeah.
I mean, you need to play the team to win the game in front of you. Because if we don't get a result with Bournemouth, then if it puts one too much pressure and it makes it pointless. You have got to play your best team to an extent, but use the squad to its strengths and capabilities. I.e., listen, if Timber's good for the game, rotating, make the subs, start strong enough, and then bring in the players you need.
But this is the game. If you're playing Bournemouth away, this is a game if you spend £50 million on Madueke, this is the game that you're playing. Yeah. Surely, when you've got Liverpool, 4 days later, this is where the rotation comes in. So you've got Eze and Madueke playing. They get minutes, right? You then got Odegaard and Xhaka a little bit fresher going into the Liverpool game.
Yep.
Then they can be left out against Portsmouth for what you're saying there, and then ready for the next game.
Leave Odegaard out,
Forest. So this is where Arteta's got to be a little bit cute, isn't he? With squad rotation, it's not like a bad thing to leave certain people in and out. But when you've got the players that we have now up front, if you have a look at Eze, for instance, didn't get on. Wow. Havertz didn't get on, against Villa. You've got Martinelli that didn't get on, right? There's 3 players there that arguably you could turn around and go, well, they're good enough for the first team. So you've got to, you can't keep leaving these players sitting on the bench.
He doesn't Mourinho never gets a rest, does he? You know it's that. He plays all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, he's either up front or...
He's got 3 games.
You wouldn't go into their midfield though, or you could do with Odegaard's, Zubimendi, and Eze. Would you do that away from home?
Yeah,
possibly. All depends on his horses for courses, isn't it?
Listen, for me, Odegaard plays that 8 role fantastically. A great example against Villa the other night. Listen, he robbed. Can't remember who it was for the goal. Tackles, wins the ball, Rodgers. And then Rodgers, and then plays the ball through to Zubimendi. Odegaard brings a high intensity level of press, and he's tackling and.
He's not really an orthodox 10, is he? He's a bit more of an 8, as it were, in a way. I do generally believe Declan Rice obviously needs. So you'd bring Eze in for Mourinho instead of Odegaard. Is that what you say, or would you leave Odegaard?
Probably in this. Probably would in this. The team that I would go with is obviously Raya in goal, Timber, Saliba, Hincapié, Miles Lewis-Skelly, and then in midfield I'd go with Zubimendi, Odegaard, and Eze. And then Madueke, Gyökeres, and probably I'd probably start Trossard and then bring Martinelli on, depending on how the game's going. And then obviously look to use Jesus. Don't forget, Jesus can play across the front 3.
That's what I was saying.
So you don't have to straight swap him out for Gyökeres. You can swap Gyökeres for Havertz after 60 minutes.
Norgard, you could bring him on the 20. It all depends where the game is.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does depend on the game. But if we're winning this game or whatever, I don't want to see Xhaka in this game.
No, he needs a rest.
If there's 20 minutes to go from the end, why don't you bring on Havertz down the middle and Jesus out wide? You know what I mean? If you want to get both on, I don't see why he couldn't do that. Or even bring Wanyeri on. To get, if he's in the squad, because
if he's still at the club.
So with that, you don't forget you can bring, if it ain't working with Madueke does classically fade after about 60 minutes. Bring Jesus, put him on the right hand side. Bring Havertz. If Havertz is fully fit. I don't know the extent of the injuries. What I don't want is him coming on, being played and breaking down again and being out for the rest of the season. Because finally we are at a place with this team where essentially we have not got that many injuries. Players are all... I know. Currently, this podcast has got more injuries than the Arsenal first team. But so we're getting into a fantastic place. Also, the January transfer window is there upon us, if anything were to happen.
Thing is, in January, we've got a couple of... I'm not degrading these fixtures, but Portsmouth, rotation.
Yeah.
Inter Milan away.
Rotation.
The team I can't pronounce.
Carrot. Yep.
Rotation.
Yeah.
But then you got big games. You got to go the A1.
Yeah, there you go.
Chelsea, Forest, Liverpool.
Yeah. And Man United.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we're in a good position where we can rotate in 3 games. Where I think Man City can rotate in 1. I think they've got Exeter at home or something, so they're rotating that one. But their Champions League games, they've still got to work to do if they want to qualified. I think they need one more win to guarantee top 8.
They've got the Manchester Derby.
They've got the Manchester Derby coming up. They've got Chelsea at this weekend, which that's a give me now.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think it is, mate.
Come on, don't. You know what I mean? Chelsea are gone. You know what I mean? Like that.
They've gone out of title race, but this is also, we've seen it with teams underestimate teams. I don't think personally that Man City are actually playing that well at the minute. After watching them, like last night, they could have nicked it against Forest. They just took their chances. And don't get me wrong, they can finish teams off and they've got that quality. Games like that could be interesting. If they bring in a temporary manager by then, till the end of the season, we all know there's that new manager sort of bounce where there might be players that haven't been in the team.
I think Chelsea are their players are.
The only thing is,
they're not playing. They weren't playing for.
No, only one Chelsea manager. As you know, when you put out a statement, only one Chelsea manager liked the one Chelsea player liked the statement, or the manager got the sack. All the others had done nothing. And they're sort of saying, well, was he that popular?
I don't think he was that popular.
So will they go out on Sunday thinking, I
don't think he, you know what I mean? Like, listen, you look at what...
Anyway, I'm not here to talk about it.
No, but for instance, Caicedo, I don't think he'd have done that tackle if he was playing under Arteta.
I think he's a liability.
I think there's a little bit lack of discipline in their team.
Big time.
But listen, I don't care about Chelsea, but I do want them to win on Saturday.
But I assume it's City will.
Yeah, I think they will.
Don't get me wrong. This could be a game where Manchester City absolutely destroy them. They could 5-1 them. It could be a footballing lesson.
We agree.
But
I think
it could. You don't know. Someone could come in before that game, change a few things around, and Chelsea go on and put in a performance and shock City. And you don't know, it's football. Anything can happen.
They said that when Frank Lampard come down to the Emirates last season, when he played 5-0. I'm not having it A manager bounce don't mean nothing. As far as I'm still the same players.
I'm Lee's camp on that one.
We'll take this back up next week.
They're on. I know it sounds silly at the moment, but Liverpool unbeaten in 9.
Yeah, but they're not. They're unbeaten in 9, but they're not.
That game yesterday, man.
Not good, was it?
No.
Mate, Leeds should have done it. Leeds should have beaten them. This is at Anfield. Leeds should have won that game. And it was, to be honest, all of those games yesterday were pretty boring. If I'm honest with you, they were snore fests. Just
too much football.
Yeah, it's just, maybe New Year's Eve has something to do with it slightly.
They're not out on the lash, are they?
I'm not saying they're out on the lash, but they're probably up a little bit later.
I felt sorry for Jack Wilshere and Luton having to go to Exeter on New Year's.
They're probably up a bit later than maybe normal. No, listen, when you're talking about Premier League football, it's fine margins. All of these things. Even if they stayed up a few hours extra and didn't have that amount of rest, all these little fine margins play into this massively.
Leeds, I don't know who's the left back for Leeds. A good.
Leeds have done. Listen, they've picked up really well
up there.
I think what is a great thing about the Premier League at the moment. I do believe that Sunderland and Leeds will survive.
Calvert-Lewin, I think he scored 7 in 7. Calvert-Lewin was a player that was injured throughout all his most of his Everton career, and there was a time when we were in talks with getting him. I was like, no, he's not the right guy.
Calvert-Lewin is an handful. Do you remember we played against? They beat us 1-0 up at Goodison Park about 2-3 seasons ago. He was putting it up to him, and we could bang. Old-fashioned centre half. We couldn't handle it, and ended up losing 1-0.
He's very much a right place, right time kind of guy. He knows the game. He's played the position obviously for years. He's Premier League. He knows the Premier League. He knows the teams. And listen, he's performing at the moment for Leeds. He's doing the business, and it's surprising. The goals he's scoring, they're proper strikers finishes. That's what you want. So, and that was a big risk going to one Leeds and Leeds buying him.
Good point for Spurs yesterday at Brentford, boys. What do you reckon? They'd be happy.
I listened to their fans last night.
They
really have had enough.
They've had enough. They have.
Good. Do you know what? 19 points in front of Tottenham. Looking at that table,
do you know what? I don't even bother watching.
We've played 19 games.
Tottenham. It was always the rivalry there and all that. But I didn't even. I had no interest in their game at all yesterday because they've gone, haven't they? Like there was a time when it was, worried about being near us or whatever. Like, is it 19 points now?
Yeah, 19 points. We played 19 games. And the maddest thing about Tottenham is they sold Harry Kane, who was one of their top goal scorers. They sold Son, who was again one of their top goal scorers. And now they're selling Brennan Johnson, who's again one of their top goal scorers. And it's like, what are you? Is this a suicide mission?
They think they're going to use that money to buy the winger at Man City who got taken off.
Yeah, I think that's what they're looking at doing, isn't it? Which is surplus requirements now if they bring in Semenyo, so they might do that.
I'm not. Yeah,
I think they're in a bit of bother, to be honest, and there's nothing better than see it. St Tottenham's Day is coming sooner than we think.
I say it's going to be here before Easter, isn't it? Though, yeah.
Oh yeah, it will be.
And the end of it, I was speaking to a couple of my Spurs mates yesterday. They're not happy. Not just with the result. It's the performances. You know what I mean? We moan about when we ain't doing very well.
With them, they've got no identity. You can't see what they're trying to do. They're two different...
Well, I can. They've seen if they can win the championship. That's what they're trying to do.
Basically, the bottom line is they want Potts back, don't they?
They do.
That's the bottom line.
They do. Like,
Be careful what you wish for. I remember when they were in the Champions League final, I think they finished second in the league, and that's the best Tottenham side I've ever seen in my lifetime. Like, that Tottenham side was legitimately 100 times better than the Tottenham side last season that won the European that Euros. Much better. They were a good side, right? And then I remember when they got rid of Pochettino, though, and it was like, why are you getting rid of him? It's like, because we want to, move onwards for, we want to.
Got Mourinho.
The best Tottenham team. I mean, why are we doing this? But it's like we're talking.
No, I don't mind.
The best was for me was the Archibald Crooks.
Oh, do you remember
Mark
that?
Falco.
81, 82.
They were good. They nearly won the title. Do you remember?
Yeah, Everton done them, didn't they? Like,
well, we did, and we stopped them.
We
did. Beat them at the lane.
Yeah. But they listen. If they're half decent sides, aren't they? Like, you know what I mean? But
they had a good side in '91.
I will say this. And it is a shock. I don't like the player because he caused us a few problems. But Dele Alli, 29 years of age, can't get a club. It's unbelievable.
It's mysterious how his career went.
Well, I think it's all off the field stuff, and obviously he's come out and said it, and obviously any potential employers not really. It is a time bomb situation. They're kind of looking at it thinking, well, he might be all right now, but what if in 6 months' time he picks up a load of form and then he decides to go on another self-destruct one?
He had a couple of seasons at Spurs where
he was unplayable.
He was unplayable, and for England as well, like and I remember in the League Cup he scored and. He come give it to the Arsenal fans. I was right by it, and I was just shouting out to him, that's why I can't support England.
Do you remember the goal he got for them at Chelsea? When in the idiot, as it come over his shoulder, that was a
bang, one against Palace. Yeah. It's got so unbelievable play.
Forget he played for Spurs.
Yeah, forget it.
It's quite sad to see a
career go down. I don't like to see that. I don't like to see. I like to see talented players at least
one time that team they had, like you had Kane, Son, Dele Alli. Mate, they were. That was a time when I was watching obviously, and they were a threat, and you're thinking, they could go and win something here, like with a good team.
Like we've had it, haven't we? Where we've been like the Invincibles and all that, and then we're seeing some really poor teams. I remember we played Portsmouth and last time in the FA Cup.
Oh, that was COVID.
Just before COVID, and we was all going on about how good Pablo Mari was that day. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, you don't realise how.
Reece Nelson played that night, didn't he? He scored, I think, yeah.
Saka was playing left back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're thinking, we're we've got these decent players now and all that, and you don't realise how low that we'd gone, like, you know what I mean? And I think with Spurs now, like, you know what I mean?
And I think some of that is, what I've seen sort of at the beginning of the season where a lot of people have sort of loaded, all this like Arteta out business and loaded onto this team. And, I've heard it through this season, like it's not sustainable and, and people have got this sort of, they're taking, but when I looked at this team at the beginning of the season, off the back of, say, last season, and the additions that we made in the summer, and that's why I thought we've been genuine title contenders. And the one thing that you've got to give credit to is Mikel Arteta, because he has had a hell of a lot of criticism with all these people saying, can he get it over the line? He needs to go. We needs to be changed and all this. And look, don't get me wrong. We need to win. We need to win something. But the position that we're in and the job that he's done under the pressure that because, when you're doing anything, if you've got people supporting you, it's a hell of a lot easier than if you've got people lambasting you and slagging you off and telling you can't do the job. Listen, that game against Villa on Tuesday night and some of these games, we're reversing these results like the Brighton game, even dragging us across the line against Wolves and getting these wins and where we're at now. There's something to be said. Of course, yeah. Listen, I just still genuinely believe at the end of the season we will have won something of some description because this team is.
It's 4
far
years
too
now,
good.
Chris, of consistency. We've been there, haven't we? We've seen good sides at Arsenal. We've seen some bad sides at Arsenal, even when we first started supporting the Arsenal. Right, but 4 years consistently. He ain't getting the credit for it that he probably deserves.
I think if you took the last 4 years' results as a complete set of work, I think we're the best team in the country the last 3 or 4 years. But obviously we haven't got nothing to show for it. Yeah. The thing is with Arteta, it's his sixth season now, isn't it?
Six
29, so it's his sixth. There was an article the other day in the I was reading in The Athletic that he won't be at Arsenal for 10 years. He doesn't want to do. He think after 10, he'll be burnt out.
Yeah, he'll go to Barcelona.
Yes,
he will go to Barcelona.
This is we've got. So I'm looking at this season and the next two will take him to 8 when we got to make hay. Basically, I don't think I could live with it if at the end of his managerial regime here. We end up with nothing. Can you imagine? I don't think I could take it.
But then imagine.
What do you think? What are you going to do?
I don't know. It's just I'll be such a because I think whatever you think about Arteta, I don't think that he has worked his
socks off
to make his club back. We're competitive. We're the Arsenal. Our record in Europe, people are not laughing at us no more. We go in for players. We buy them. They turn other clubs down. You speak to players. He's taught me. Declan Rice. Until I could join Arsenal, I didn't know what football was. So you know what I mean. But at the end of that, please God, he's got something to show for it, mate.
Yeah, that is the key now, isn't it? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Is to get it over the line. If he gets it over the line, you know what I mean. I think that he'll go and win other things as well. I think. I think that's just one thing that's holding us back at this moment in time.
Chris, exactly the point you said. Like you must have both heard ex-players that have come out and said you don't realise what a big club Arsenal are until you leave Arsenal.
Yeah, well, listen, you talk to any of the ex-Arsenal players, you know what I mean, like Charlie Nicholas, for instance, you know what I mean, was at Celtic, which is a massive club, you know what I mean, but when he said about Arsenal, he said it's different, and they all say that, you know what I mean, like that it is different and that, like, you know.
So I can't think of it, right. So I'm thinking, how many Arsenal teams? I don't think I've seen such a wonderful squad of players in my Arsenal supporting life that haven't won anything. And it's gnawing at me.
Yeah, I get that. It's gnawing at me now as well. Like, I think
you understand?
I understand what you're saying because I've seen worse Arsenal teams than this win
stuff.
E.g. Terry Neal's Arsenal, the team when we beat Man U and that.
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to go bore everyone, but we had 3-4 fantastic players, but the board never backs him.
Yeah.
Would you two reckon the best Arsenal team that you've ever seen?
Invincibles. End of.
Yeah, Invincibles, and then
footballing team? What was that team in the 30s like, Lee? That team in the 30s was good, weren't they?
The 30s were even better. I know what you're laughing at, Chris. She was ball boy.
And you and all.
Right, you know what I mean? But like the 91 team was very good.
I'm glad you said that is the most forgotten,
forgotten and underrated team
ever.
Like, lost one game that season.
Yeah, the 1991
season.
Yeah, that was fantastic. That was one of my favourite seasons. Yeah, when they brought in Seaman, Limpar. Yeah,
we had like some unbelievable players in that team, like Michael Thomas, David Rocastle didn't play as much as he should have done because of injury. But we had Paul Merson at his very, very best.
Yeah,
he was at his very, very best.
And we reeled off about 10-1-0s on the trot.
Yeah.
I used to love it.
Yeah.
That was a team I remember watching. That was sort of like the first sort of games that I went to. I remember we smashed Villa 5-1 in that season. Yeah. Nigel Spink got injured, and David Platt went in goal. And Paul Davis scored a fantastic goal at Derby County New Year's.
Yeah, I remember.
No, Boxing Day, 3-0 when Seaman nearly scored from a goal kick, hit the bar, Alan Smith headed it in. Some of the games that I went to, the Coventry game, 6-1, where we absolutely smashed them. I remember watching that team just going into every single game, thinking we're going to beat it, we're going to win. I never had any, just the confidence of that side. I mean, it was 18 goals.
And you know what?
Conceded.
And people watching Arsenal now, we was by far the best team in the league at that time, but it weren't done and dusted in January and February. It was still a long way to go. I remember us going to Liverpool, probably in about...
We got point stocked, Battle of Old Trafford.
Yeah, we were the Battle of Old Trafford, we drew 0-0. But I think, if I'm not, I don't know when it would be, it would have been about March, April time. We went to Anfield and Paul Merson scored the goal in the 1-0.
Yeah.
And that was it, he knew them. But it weren't till about April that you felt as good as we
I'll tell you when it went. That's a good point you made there, Lee. I'll tell you when it went down. If you remember, Liverpool were playing at Forest.
Yeah.
And they kicked off before
us, and we played Man United, weren't we?
We beat them we waxed them, didn't we? 6-1 or something. Yeah, it went down to the last.
Do you remember in that season as well, we got whacked by Manchester United 6-1 in the Rumbelows Cup that it was then.
Yeah.
And also the game against Liverpool 3-0 on a Sunday afternoon. I remember watching that when Merson scored. Watching those games was like...
And we was by far better, but as I say, you've got it's what you do in between, and that's what Arsenal got to do now. Just keep winning games of football.
And the final bit on it, we were talking about Arsenal teams that have won something ain't as good as this lot. Is the Jules Graham League Cup and FA Cup team. 92, 93, unbelievable. Yeah, but not as good as this.
Nowhere near.
Yeah.
You have a look at that game against Parma as well in 94.
Yeah. That we could have lost that.
The team we had out that day, you know what I mean? Like there was, but that's where you need squad players coming in. Like Ian Skelly played that game, was outstanding. Like
Stephen Morrow.
Stephen Morrow come into the.
Don't you remember when he broke his arm?
Yeah, that was in the cup.
He fell off of
Tony Adams?
Yeah. Was it Tony Adams?
Yeah.
He
dropped that season, like you know what I mean. But so he didn't play in the FA Cup final because of that.
I think we got a new programme here, Nostalgia.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, but that's what you want about, that's what it's all about. And listen, quickly before we go, Bournemouth away, predictions, Chris?
3-0.
3-0, we'll love it.
Yeah, I like that. I like 3-0.
You going 3-0?
Yeah, I think we're doing 3-0.
Go for yours or come back to me, Lou.
I'm going 2-0.
Yeah, I think
good
3-1.
3-1?
3-1.
No, I want a nil. I'm fed up with these little goals we let.
Yeah, that's the only niggling little thing.
I know. Do you know what? We took our foot off, and they could that save from Raya. What is this guy? Is unbelievable.
More of a miss for me, like.
Huh?
More of a miss. The save in the game before is.
Yeah, that's probably the best seats. I think that's probably one of the best saves I've seen at the Emirates.
Just before we go, one thing before we go, like Emery walking down without shaking his hand.
Rude. Bad loser.
Imagine if Arteta had done that. He'd be undrawn and quartered.
Do you know what happened there? Emery thought he was in Baku. He got flashbacks. He got PTSD in Baku, right? And he was like, after the absolute drilling, and he was like, "Oh, I'm an Aston Villa manager. I thought I was still Arsenal manager. We've just been spanked."
It don't look good because when we lost to Villa with the last kick of the game,
he showed a lot of
respect that day, Arteta, and Emery didn't repay it. Like, you know what I mean? So
bad
there
form.
You go. Anyway, we come to the end of the show. Chris, thanks for your attendance, considering your injury. Well done, like, you know what I mean?
Go.
Smarty Marty. He's the only one fully fit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Leading the line.
He's up for selection against Bournemouth. Unfortunately, I'm not as well, like, But listen, thank you, Chris.
It's all right.
Well done with the injury to get through it. Like Smarty Marty, the only one that's fully fit. Well done, like,
leading the line.
And of course myself, who's injured and out for the weekend as well, like, Listen, thanks for watching. Happy New Year to everybody as well, like, and we're out of here. Thank you very much.
Cheers.